Just started.
Okay.
Bobo,
Hey,
you start.
hey, Eric, how you doing?
Good,
Um,
Bob.
good to see you. Hey, I think we've talked about this before, but Arkansas's had this long Sweet 16 drought. I think CBS had a story that 99 different programs have been back to the Sweet 16 since Arkansas, including your Nevada team. What do you think about that drought? I know you guys want to obviously break it for yourselves, but also just for all the Arkansas fans, kind of long-suffering Arkansas fans, and just how tough is it to get to the Sweet 16?
I mean, it's tough to, what people don't understand, it's tough to make this tournament. And then it's even tougher to win one game. And then as you advance, it becomes, a whole nother hurdle. Um, I mean, every team in the NCAA tournament's good. They all present unique problems. They all have confidence. I think to answer your question, Bob, I mean, really, we're playing a great Texas Tech team, really well coached, great offensive rebounders, really physical, really difficult to score against, very well coached, a lot of athletes. So myself and the team, I mean, I think right now our only focus is Texas Tech. And then if we were able to ever be fortunate enough to advance, I think at that point we can talk about, the meaning of it and all that. But right now, we have Texas Tech next up on our schedule, and we have tremendous respect for their team. They got shooters, and Edwards, number 11, and Benson can shoot at 21 off the bench, and Shannon is a great athlete and can shoot, and Peavy and Santo are great rebounders, and there's a lot of challenges when you play Texas Tech.
Knowing college basketball history like you do, and I know Arkansas, following going back to the triplets, you just find hard to believe a program of Arkansas's historical significance has not made it to the Sweet 16, and that 99 other programs have since '96.
I mean, again, Arkansas has had some great, history, but those numbers are also a fact, Bob. And so, like I said, I just don't think that anyone can ever take for granted getting into this tournament, and then certainly winning a game, and then if you win two, and so on and so forth. It's really, really hard to do.
Okay, thanks, Eric. I got a couple more if time allows. Thanks, Mike.
We only got like 15 minutes because we got outdoor yard time coming up. So
Curtis.
I don't want to miss 1 second of my 1 hour outside. I can promise you guys that.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about two of their other guys, Mac McClung there in the backcourt, and then Santos Silva kind of anchoring them on the inside. Just your overall impressions of those two.
Yeah, I mean, 14 inside can, Curtis, he's strong. He's a guy that rebounds. He understands his role. He provides interior offensive rebound and interior paint points. And then McClung's a guy who's a great scorer. So both those guys present problems, and I've been really impressed watching number 1 Shannon as well on tape, and then Edwards can add shooting from deep, and their guys just understand their roles, Curtis. I think that's one of the big things is they really play to who they are and to their strengths.
And then one thing you said yesterday that really stood out to me was that there wasn't a ton of celebration after the game because the guys felt like they were expected to win. They were supposed to win. As you dive in on prep for this game, how would you describe just the focus and demeanor of this team? And is it different at all from any other tournament teams you've coached?
Well, I think that this, this uniqueness of this tournament is it can mentally, look, we are in a true bubble. This is overly difficult. The outside world seeing the games and so I'm like with us, it's how do you continue to be mentally tough in this grind of preparation, and then in your room, and then preparation, and then in your, it's a grind, man. I mean, nobody could love the sport more than me, but this is a grind for me as well as the student athletes. And so it's important, to balance the prep, along with them, like with the short turnaround in a normal situation, you've got to balance how much you can do on the floor. Like today we went exactly 60 minutes. I didn't go a minute over or a minute under. And I thought that was the max that I could get out of our ball club. And then there's a decision tomorrow. You know, do you shoot at the arena at 8:30 in the morning, or do you shoot and let the guys sleep in and shoot in a non-arena that you're going to play in later in the day where they can sleep in? So there's a lot of these little dilemmas that you've got to come up and make decisions. And I'm not making the decision. I'm putting a lot of the decisions on the players and asking them what they feel comfortable doing, because in reality, they're the ones playing. I'm not out there playing.
Nate Allen.
Just as far as tempo, just how key is that to this game? And also, could you play your small lineup against a team like Texas Tech?
Well, I mean, I think the game's going to dictate, Nate, you know, what we do. Interesting enough, Texas Tech went small in the second half against Utah State at times, where they played number 15. They played number 5, Peavy. They played Shannon, number 1. They played, Edwards, 11. So they went small at times. I don't know how the game is going to be dictated or the tempo, how that's going to go. You've got to make some shots against Texas Tech because they're so good defensively. So in your preparation against this team, you not only have to talk about how you're going to stop them, but how you're going to score. A lot of preparations are just about the other team's, offense and our defensive scheme. In this, we've got to try to figure out both sides of the ball in a limited amount of time.
Thanks.
Jason Carroll.
Hinkle, what's that arena mean to you, and what's it going to be like to coach a game there tomorrow with a chance at the Sweet 16 on the line?
Yeah, Jason, I mean, I've already been in the building. We practiced there when I was at the University of San Diego. That was my practice site, even though we played in the Hoosier Dome. So I've been in there. It's pretty cool. I don't know how many of our guys, really truly understand the significance of the building. I'm not going to spend time talking to them about the significance of it because I'm running out of mind space time with them anyhow, because it's, such a short time frame. So any of their mind space, I just wanted to be on Texas Tech, but there's great significance. I think anybody, that knows about Hoosiers and all that stuff knows what that building means.
Scotty.
Oh,
Coach, 5 of Jalen Tate's 6 buckets yesterday, came in that short mid-range area or at the rim. I'm curious, when he turns his aggressiveness up on the offensive end, what are some of the benefits you guys take from that?
No, I mean, I think we need him to be offensive minded. I mean, he can make a 3 with his feet set. We've seen that throughout the course of the year. The game dictated us they ran us off the 3-point line pretty well yesterday. And I thought that, we had to get points in the paint. We had to get mid-range shots. We've been a much better mid-range shooting team than people think. And, and Tate's, we've had 2 point guards now in the last 2 years that are really long and have great size and can rise up over people in that mid-range. And Jalen can post up a little bit as well. There was a couple possessions where he backed down, Colgate's guards and anytime we can get close to the rim, I think it does nothing but help our shooting percentage.
And then your impressions of Devo's, postseason debut yesterday, some of the plays he made in the open floor, and then the between the legs pass he made to JD for a 3.
I'm glad I didn't see the hike pass live. I don't know how I missed it, but I didn't see it. The guy's unbelievable. Like his first 3 minutes was a disaster. I mean, turnover, and then all of a sudden, I took him out and just said, look, my man, we can't turn the ball. Like we gotta get a shot on goal. I'd rather take a bad shot or just kick the ball out of bounds. We can't have a live ball turnover. And Devo just regroups. He's so mentally tough. He's a freshman, and there's not a lot of teams that are starting, 2 freshmen in this tournament and advancing. And both he and Moses so composed, but Devo's mental toughness and his, I mean, how about the dribble drive off the steal, at the end of the half? Like, that's a big time play. There's not a lot of guys who can, and his awareness of the shot clock, just like we've seen big steal at Kentucky and big plays throughout him. That halftime play was as big a play as there was in the entire game. If I had to just say, hey, what was a huge momentum that led us into the locker room feeling good about ourselves. And then obviously, anytime we can get extra attention on our social media, and Devo's pass certainly created a national stir.
Scotty,
I'm good, Mike. Thank you.
Troy.
Yeah, Coach, I kind of wanted to, reiterate on that. You got so many guys on your team that haven't been to the tournament, and you got all these other restrictions due to COVID. How do you think your team has been handling, all the hype in the NCAA tournament so far?
They've been handling the COVID situation, Troy, much better than me. That's for sure. I promise you that. But I think they've done a great job. I mean, we advanced. We were down 14. We kept competing. We kept believing. Colgate made a second half run, and we continued to have another run towards the end of the game. So they've handled it great. And, the pressure, they've handled that. I do think that, I think yesterday we felt some pressure as a unit. And with so many new faces and so many guys that haven't played in the tournament, I'm hopeful that our lack of experience in this tournament is kind of out of our system. Obviously, Texas Tech's played in a lot of big games before this tournament started. Their last game was in a championship game, if I recall, against Virginia.
Kyle.
Hey, Coach, I wonder what your impressions are of Chris Beard, and do you maybe see some of yourself in him as far as, a guy who just soaks up game film?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Beard does an incredible job. He's a guy that thinks basketball in the middle of the summer, and you'll get a text from him. He's really, really competitive. He hates to lose. His teams play with great toughness. His teams are resilient. He's won everywhere he's been. I think in the coaching profession, everyone's got tremendous respect for how hard, the Red Raiders play. And certainly that's been characteristics of his teams wherever he's coached.
And does Hoosiers make it into the pregame tomorrow at all?
Not really sure yet what pregame will be. I mean, some people like the toothpaste analogy, some didn't. But we'll come up with something. I don't know if half the team's rolling their eyes or half of them are waiting with anticipation for what's coming next. But we'll have something for sure.
One final question, please.
Actually, I won't have anything to do with Hoosiers now that I think of it. I got to be a little more creative than that.
I thought the toothpaste was pretty good, but that's.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that.
Hey, ORU, knocked off Ohio State, and North Texas knocked off Purdue. You guys played them. I know we talked about the schedule some. What'd you think about that?
Coach Ruda. I just want to see some people that bashed our schedule. I want them to step up and say, yeah, I question their schedule. Just come on, media guys. We got to step up to the plate when we mess up. Anybody that bashed our schedule.
All right, Coach. Thank you very much.